Hey, it's David with Beyond the Clef, and I'm here with Pete Hazzard.
Yep.
And you are with Frisco ISD. What's your title?
I am. I'm the Managing Director of Fine Arts. So we oversee all of the fine arts programming for the 65,000 plus kids that we have in Frisco.
Okay, cool. And why don't you tell me a little bit about what you want to see? You did a clinic about this. What you want to see as an administrator from your teachers, your band, choir, orchestra directors.
You know, one of the things I've learned in the last 6 years in administration is that my perspective when I was a band director was not always completely accurate. There's an issue, I think, when music teachers, there's a lack of connection that can exist at times with campus administrators simply because they come to the table with a generalist mindset, knowing the culture of the campus, and we come to the table with a specialist mindset. So we get really focused on things like efficiency. We get really focused on things like organization, trying to go out and get those first divisions. But for the campus administrator, it's about being the ideal team player first. We talk a lot in our district about, in 2016, Patrick Lencioni wrote a book called The Ideal Team Player, and he talks about 3 skill sets that are things that we look for in our teachers and we talk about all the time. Number 1 is humility. Humility is not thinking less of yourself, it's just thinking of yourself less. And humble leaders are those leaders that seek really define success as a group effort rather than it being about their own stature and their own platform that they're on. Hungry leaders are those that are that want to go above and beyond. They're not people that just go in and do their normal job description. They're more focused on trying to do things above and beyond in service for students. And then smart. We're not talking about competency, although that is important. This is more about relational intelligence. It's about interpersonal appropriateness, people that know how to have crucial conversations at the right time in the right place. For me, when I first came into band directing, I thought the perspective was all about the competitive accolades. That's not what matters the most to those campus administrators. And so, I think with teachers, it's important to keep that perspective in mind whenever we're developing both internal and external communication patterns, because that can drive the way that we communicate, the way that we coordinate, and the way that we collaborate together as a team. But we have to have that right kind of mindset to be able to have that open dialogue with campus administrators that don't always get what we're talking about. I tell our teachers all the time, band is one of those things that's interesting. Music is one of those things that's interesting. You really can't understand it from the outside looking in. You might be able to appreciate it, but you're never going to completely get it. You really have to be on the inside looking out. And so from a communication standpoint, we're constantly trying to bring those campus administrators into what we do so that they can experience the benefits of a robust and relevant music education in the life of a student.
So how do you think that I could do that? Okay, so I'm a first, second-year teacher.
Yeah.
Maybe I just got my first gig and I'm the only one there, and I'm trying to, like you said, bring in that administrator, maybe just my campus principal, or maybe in a smaller district, it's upper-level administration.
Right.
How can I bring them in and show them what I'm doing and what my vision is?
I think the most important thing is it's going to revolve around communication. Internal communication patterns exist and are developed by the group for the group. And so having strong internal communication with your campus administrator and really sitting down and going through what I call a communication compact. And it's sitting down as a group and agreeing on how we're going to communicate when certain issues come up at times. Or, when are we going to meet? How frequently are we going to meet? What is email communication going to be like? Really setting some of those parameters with a campus administrator is important because it allows there to be an emphasis on the fact that we are going to communicate. But then it's also bringing that campus administrator into the external communication patterns. External communication is all about trying to take what we do in music education and explain it in a way that people outside of the organization can get it. So that's everything from social media presence to public presentations to newsletters that we send out, all of those different kinds of things. And I think a lot of times we relegate that to a top-down leadership type of approach. like we're telling people when to be somewhere and what to do. It's more about the advocacy piece. It's all about trying to get the community at large to understand more about what those benefits are. And I think bringing your campus administration into that and really focusing on developing a strong social media presence, being out there in the community and allowing them to have some input into what happens, that's the way to bring them along, because those are the types of things they can understand. They might not understand the what and the how, but they can come along with the why. And so we have to start, like Simon Sinek says, we have to start with the why.
Okay. Great. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
It's great.